Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be working on this Pfaff 145H3 industrial sewing machine. The machine has your stitch length right over here. It does have reverse just by pushing up this leather, and I'm just going to go over quickly oiling it. You can take this top cover off. It's just one screw here. Remove this plate. It's important to oil down inside this area of the machine. And you can just simply turn over the hand wheel and see what's moving in there. And there's also an oil spot right here on the machine, right here on the machine. And then you can remove two screws on this end of the machine here, turn over the hand wheel, and just oil all the moving parts in here. It's very important that you put a drop of oil in here where your hook rotates. And also there's a little area down here. You'll see this dark area. That's actually a small channel that will oil the shaft underneath. I've removed the thread from the needle and I'm turning the hand wheel. Hopefully you can see these parts moving inside. And all we got to do is go in here with our oiler. Now some of these machines are going to have little holes like this one does tapped into these oiling points. And you can just go in here, turn the hand wheel, and where you see hinges moving and parts moving that they might already have a red dot painted on them, go ahead and oil all those spots. A couple of drops here and there. I don't really worry about getting too much oil in there. Any extra is just going to drip out the bottom. I can wipe it up later. The main thing is I don't want to be missing parts. I'll just continue moving the hand wheel and hit the oiling points in the back of the machine here. I like to take the slide plates off, and you can see the needle point coming around there. It's nice and sharp. I like to just check to see how the timing is to the needle and also how the distance is from the needle. And this is right on the money. I can see the guide just pushing the needle away a little bit and the hook meeting the needle at the proper point. So next step will be I will take the bobbin case out and make sure it's clean under there. I've taken these 3 screws out that you see sitting here, and then you just lift off this retaining piece. I'll have to clean that, but what I'm looking for is I want to pull out this bobbin case and just make sure there's no threads underneath caught inside the hook area right in there. Then I can go ahead and clean that out really well and get some fresh oil in there. So that'll be the next step, and then I can put this back together. It's really simple. It's just these 3 little screws. And when you put them back in, don't over tighten them. Right at the end of my pointer down there, you can see the channel that I mentioned earlier. Put a few drops of oil in that, and it'll move the oil down to the shaft below. When you put this plate back on, you'll see this hole, so you can get oil in this hole, which will go into this felt pad here, and then through this little channel to oil this area. You come off the thread stand back there, go to this spool pin, come down here through this guide right here, over the top of this guide. Make sure your presser foot is up and get in between the pressure discs, go around the bottom side, and then around the bottom of this guide. Make sure you pull on your thread so you catch this spring. What you're trying to do is to get it right over this so that the spring activates. Then come up here, turn this way. We'll go through the take-up lever. Let's see if I can get the take-up lever right up here. Back down the front, through the guides. And then when you get down to the needle, go left to right. So far, everything on the machine has been pretty well maintained. I got to the bottom here and removed one of the covers for these gears on the bottom side. I've got it right here. And it looks like this is where they kind of stopped doing things. This is pretty old, dried out grease, so I've already cleaned this half out. I'll have to clean this out and put new grease on here, and then clean off those gears and put the covers back on. So there's going to be 3 of them, so this is going to be time consuming here. All right, let's continue. You can see here I've got the covers off the gears on the bottom of the machine, and when I have these off, I take the time to clean these gears off a little bit and put some oil right at this point and this point here on these shafts. And I just spin it over. This is spinning nice and freely, and I've got the pots, the grease pots are all cleaned out. Here's what the old grease looked like. It was ready. It was overdue to have this done. There wasn't any damage done. Somebody was putting oil in here instead of just swapping out the grease. I guess they didn't want to go through all that work, but it all looks good. It turns over super smooth, so I can get the new grease in there and get things put back together on the bottom side. I've got one more gear cover to take off. It's on the top side. You can see it here, and the way you get at that is just go through this casting, you'll loosen the screw, and then you got to carefully take these 2 covers out of the machine. So I'm going to go ahead and take that out, get them cleaned up, look at the gears, and we'll put everything back together. I think that's it for today, guys. I've got the machine all oiled up. The grease is all changed out. Making really nice stitches on both sides. This is 2 layers of naugahyde. There we go. Black on the back there. Kind of a green color on the front. And the next step will be getting the machine and the industrial table all set up. So I hope you come back to watch that one. And as always, thanks for watching. See ya.